Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over our native crypto portfolio, and we're going to start going over native cryptocurrencies from this point forward. But on top of that, we're going to talk about sell in May and go away and what that means. So with that being said, let's get it. All right. So first thing we're going to go over is the native crypto portfolio here. As you guys can see, these are all of our holdings currently, some up, some down. That's kind of the nature of crypto. So yeah, looks like Ethereum's up a little bit and AIOZ's up a little bit. Of course, I suspect AIOZ is probably going to hit like at least $10 a token, probably this cycle. Uh, Again, that's not an indication to buy or financial advice or anything like that. Whether you guys buy or sell that, that's up to you. I'm just telling you what my thoughts and opinions are. So we have Filecoin, AIOZ, Bitcoin Dash, Bankers, Scale, Crow, Render, Horizon, the Graph Engine, Zcash, Ethereum, Litecoin. We have some Luna Classic, although we're probably never ever going to get our money back on that. But if this thing does like 100 or 1,000 or 10,000x or something crazy like that, we will find a way to get rid of it and cash out. I can promise you that. So we do also have some Algorand, but it's not on here. And we also have some more Ethereum and some other random tokens that we have that are not currently on here. So pretty much kind of what we're looking for here is roughly about a 10 to 20x on our native positions. I think that's more than possible. As you guys can see here, that's what it would be for a 10x and roughly about a 20x. Again, this does not include the Grayscale trust that we have or the Bitcoin miners that we have currently or that we're going to be accumulating over the next 6 to 12 months. So that's just what we currently have. And again, even if it only does, let's say, a 6x, which I think is probably pretty conservative, I'd say that's still actually really, really good. So let's get into sell in May and go away and talk about what that's about. So first thing before then, I want to point out to you guys that Bitcoin does look like it's actually having a golden cross on the MACD. This is a big deal. Again, the last time that this happened, it's a little hard to see. You guys can kind of see we had a fake out here, but even though we went from a death cross to a golden cross on the daily, this move was absolutely explosive. It went from 52 to about 74,000. So it was a really dangerously explosive kind of move here. And again, we had a death cross back here, kind of a little tiny dip into this trend line, and then boom, straight up. As you guys can see, another MACD golden cross here. And just from this level at roughly about 42, 43-ish thousand, we went straight up to about 52,000. So almost a $10,000 increase on Bitcoin. So I wanted to point that out to you guys real quick. So now let's talk about sell in May and go away. So what is sell in May and go away? Okay, so this is a very common theme that is known among the entire crypto space, okay? It doesn't matter if they're a Bitcoin whale or they're a position trader or they're an investor or they're an institution or, just some random retail hodler. Everybody in crypto knows about this. Well, maybe with the exception of the institutions. Maybe some of them don't know about it because they're still relatively new to the space. So it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's sell in May and go away. The theory is that May is one of the lesser bullish months for Bitcoin. As you guys can see here, everything was looking good until May, and then boom, sell off, and then we bounced after that point. And again, the dump here was kind of a little early in April, but also in May and June. So May just for some reason seems to be the popular month. I think it's because of the phrase sell in May and go away, kind of catchy sounding. So didn't really get it so much here, although we kind of got chopped sideways in 2022 and down. And not really so much in between then. And then, of course, the big dump in 2021. And we didn't really get it here, but we kind of got it a little bit later in July. So kind of similar to what we saw in stocks last year. And then again, as we go back in time, you can see that May was also kind of a selling period here. And not really here, but almost kind of here. So June, July in 2017. So going several years back, you can kind of see that like Q2 timeframe roughly could be considered to be a pullback season for Bitcoin. Does it have to pull back? No. But this is pretty well known, so a lot of people like to get out of the crypto space in May and get back in kind of once the price has bottomed out. So what I'll say about that is we do have some similarities between sell and May before and now. So you can see this kind of bearish divergence here. So the RSI coming down, price going up. Again, RSI coming down, price going up as of right now. Are we going to sell? Probably not. I mean, we've accumulated a lot up until this point, even when Bitcoin was at these prices. So if we were planning on selling, we probably would have done so somewhere in this ramp up here, but we have not. We've taken profit, sure, but we've also added to our positions as well. So the difference I want to show you here is back here we had a double top and a rising wedge. And this was, of course, the Bitcoin cycle top for Bitcoin. And this was well after the halving. What's different a little bit this time around is we have a bull flag right now, or presumably this is a bull flag. It looks very, very much to me like a bull flag. And I mean, this whole move right here from this $39,000 level could be actually considered to be the flag pull for the bull flag. And also, we're still above this trend line. So we have not even tested the trend line yet. Again, it's not May, but we did just have the halving back in this area. This was about a year to a year and a half after the halving. So a lot to consider there. But again, if Bitcoin does pull back in May, if crypto pulls back in May, that's just considered to be a dip buying opportunity. We're going to buy the dip next month if that happens. If it doesn't happen, okay, great. If it goes up, we make money. If it goes down, we buy the dip. That's how we see it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you guys this right now. So even though if we were really concerned about the sell in May and go away, we would not have done this morning. So I'll show you guys right now. We added another 500 shares. Yes, you heard that correctly. 500 shares to BTBT. One of the reasons is because the earnings is coming up soon, but also because BTBT is still relatively cheap. So again, if we were worried about the dump in crypto, we would not be buying this right now. Whether it comes or not doesn't matter. Still cheap buying opportunities. So let's get into the altcoins. So we're not going to go over Ethereum and Bitcoin, but we will go over Litecoin. So we're going to try to make this pretty quick. Again, some of these we do own, some of them we do not. This is kind of just our watch list. So we don't have any Bitcoin Cash, no Dogecoin, no Compound, no IODEX, no ICP. No ETC, no Link, no Synthetics, no Jasmy. We used to have Jasmy actually, and also Synthetics. We've owned all of these except for I think ICP at one point in time. No Solana, no Fetch. We just got out of that. We also do not own. Let's see, what else do we not own here? We don't own Mana, but we're considering buying back into this because it has dropped quite a bit since the recent pump. Also, we do not own any Track, and we do also have Gala, but it's not in a hot wallet, so to speak, at this point in time. And no XTZ as of right now. So let's go ahead and go over these. So Litecoin support is $76 to about $80, resistance 97 to 105. And as you guys can see, we are still a very long ways away from all-time highs. We'll go over this one more time. Last time Litecoin had a massive or a breakout from this downward trend here. You guys can see the move was extremely explosive. We experienced something here as well from the high to the low. And at some point in the future, there probably is going to be a massive explosion to the upside for Litecoin. So just something to keep an eye out on. So Bitcoin Cash, we actually do not have this one put up as of right now, but we're going to go ahead and draw in some zones here. So I would say pretty much this whole zone right here is going to be roughly about support. And this whole zone that we're currently in right here, actually going to have to go back quite a ways to even get this. So you guys can see that level that it got rejected off of was a pretty heavy resistance level in the previous cycle. So there is that. Do I think Bitcoin Cash is going to go higher? Yes, I do. It's just a matter of when. So we have not seen the all season yet. As you guys know, Bitcoin dominance has not actually dropped down yet. When we do, Bitcoin Cash could be going way higher than this. And just to show you guys, the peak, the all-time peak is about $4,200. So that tells you what's possible. That means that Bitcoin Cash could do an 8x by itself, not including BCHG. And of course, we have the break of the downtrend there. You guys can see, just like last time, it was very explosive to the upside. So as of right now, support 265 to 291, 685 to 760 on resistance. I would say that this is still a little expensive, in my opinion. If we were going to buy it, it'd be down closer to this area somewhere, or maybe starting right around these wicks at 340 or so. But what you guys want to do with that, that's up to you. So need to draw another zone in here for Dogecoin. So I would say probably like around that area. So I'm not so sure this is actually going to hold as support, but we'll change it into support for right now. So the current support, 15 cents to about 18 cents. Below that, you're looking at about 9 cents to 11 cents. We'd be waiting to buy roughly about that 9 to 11 cents. Because again, there are cheaper opportunities in the market. 28 cents to about 34 cents would be where the resistance is. So you'd be looking at about 76 to 115% just from where it is right now. So Compound, this is one we did actually own before. We sold out a little bit early, took a small loss. Unfortunately, after that, of course, it doubled in price, right? So that's the reason why we try to never sell for a loss at this point, because that's been kind of a constant experience for us. Every time we buy something and then we sell, it seems like we sell early for a loss. It seems like about a week to 4 weeks later or so, it does actually go into the money. So this one's a little expensive. Compound support is between 24 to 34 and resistance 67 to 89 as of right now. The price has moved down quite a bit, 40%, but it could move down a lot lower. So to get back to support would be an even bigger drop. Again, that would kind of line up with that sell in May and go away. Of course, there's no guarantees that's going to happen. So from support to resistance, you'd be looking at about 129%, 208%, and 255% respectively. Compound was in the last cycle, just so y'all know. So BNT, same thing. It was around in the last cycle. Kind of have a bunch of stuff drawn out here. Just ignore that. So as of right now, the current support is 33 cents to about 46 cents, 83 cents or 84 cents, I should say, to about 93 cents with resistance. If we're going to buy more, we'll wait for it to get in this box or close to it. But as of right now, I'd say this is still a little bit expensive. So from support to resistance, 109 to about 140% move. So IOTX, this is another one that was, I believe, actually around last cycle. So current support is current support is where it is currently. Let's kind of pull this down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so breakout, retest. It does look like it's holding the EMAs and the supports. So as of right now, this current level is support. I suppose maybe we should take a look at buying some of this too. So 4.5 cents to about 6.5 cents on support, 11 cents to 12, almost 13 cents on resistance there. Just to get from where it is right now to the top of the zone, you'd be looking at nearly a 2x. ICP, this has been a very popular one as of the last 12 months. A lot of people have kind of been buying into this. The all-time high previously is like some $700 or something like that. But this thing came up and dumped from that price to the low here, as you guys can see. I don't know what the backstory is on that, but it's a very popular one. It did survive the previous bear market, so that's a plus. It shows it has some strength. As of right now, we're testing this as resistance. It hasn't broken out yet. So $7.70 to about $10 is going to be your support, and then $14.10 to about $15.60 is going to be resistance. Reason I say it hasn't actually held as support, you can see a breakout and then a fake out here. That tells me that this is not actually ready to hold as support yet. I would say this is a little bit expensive. We would wait for a pullback. So you'd be looking at about 70 to 91%. And then to get back up to that high up there, about 151%. So pretty good move. ETH Classic. So 22.70 to about 25 bucks, 40.5 to about 46. This is a little bit on the cheaper end. I mean, you could DCA down on this one. That's up to you. So 75% to about 92% move up from that point. Chainlink, this one's a little expensive. It is considered to be a more blue chip project, so it's kind of more well established. A lot of people are more accepting of it. It has actual use case, stuff like that. So about 510 to 560 on support, 1650 to $18 on resistance. Again, this was a fake out or a breakout and then a breakdown. So basically a false breakout. I would be waiting for a pullback on this one. Assuming we get back down to the zone, you'd be looking at about 195% to 220%. So synthetics, kind of in no man's land, not bullish, not bearish. I'm kind of neutral on this one because it's pretty much exactly in between the zones. 145 to 185 on support, 410 to about 450 on resistance, and then the wick high up there is way up there at $7. So from zone to zone, you'd be looking at about 140-ish percent to about 170%, and then back up at that wick is about 320%. So Jasmine, yeah, this one's not ready to break out yet, as you guys can see, but this could potentially be a bull flag here, but we're not going to cover that in this video. Again, this is just kind of an introduction video into native crypto. So a penny to about a penny and two to about 2 cents to roughly just under 3 cents on the resistance. So from zone to zone, this would be about 120 to 140% move. Again, we're not going to buy this because it's not. We try to buy as close to the buy zone as humanly possible if we can get it, or if we think we can DCA down if it's not actually going to bounce off of that zone. So Solana, this is actually one that we have never actually owned personally. It's not that we don't like Solana, we just already have a lot of crypto positions already, and we don't want to get too diversified. So again, support between 137 to 145 and resistance between 203 to about 215. It's pretty close to the support now, so I mean, now's an ideal entry. Again, you guys can do with that what you will. So about 46 to 55% to the upside. Okay, so Algorand, still kind of in no man's land. So 14 cents to about 16 cents, 28 cents to 30 cents or so to the upside. So assuming you wanted to buy in this zone, you'd be looking at about 71 to 82% on that move. Filecoin, this is one we're very bullish on. You can see the high up here at $230 some. Current price is at 6 something. I think our cost basis is like $10 or something like that. So if we're lucky, we'll get like a 20, maybe 25x. If the market is generous, we might even get more than that. So we'll see. So current support $213 to about $3. Resistance $880 to about $11. If we were going to add more, we just DCA at this point. We're not going to buy in bulk because it's not super cheap yet. So 244% to about 350% move to the upside. So Fetch, this thing is actually at all-time highs. So I think they're going to have a coin merger. That's something to keep in mind. I don't know a lot about that. You guys will have to do your research. But support is between 75 cents to $1.05, and the high is 350. I'd be waiting for it to get back down into the zone because it's already had such a massive move up. So about 281% from there. All right, so let's go through these real quick because there's a lot. So again, renders at all-time highs. Support is going to be about 580 or so, 760, and 1350 all the way up to the highs. Still has a way to come down, maybe to kind of base out in the zone. So from the zone to the peak up there, you're looking at about 200 or 107%, I should say. It could bounce off the EMAs and just go straight up. That's a possibility too. AIOZ, same thing, except we do have some zones here. So 33 cents to about 48 cents, 97 cents to $1.20 on resistance. I wouldn't buy right now, or if I was going to, I'd DCA in and wait for a big pullback to actually get in more heavy. So 136% to about 187%. Dash, we do own Dash as well. This has been around for many cycles. So $23.50 to 26 at support, 35 to about 38, 39-ish, somewhere at resistance. It's kind of stuck in between those two zones. So from zone to zone, you'd be looking at about 42 to 58%. Engine, same thing as the last token. So about 20 cents to 23 cents, 45 cents to 60 cents on the resistance. It's stuck in between the zones. So about 87% to roughly about 150% to get back up to that zone. graph, very similar. This one's actually a little more expensive in my opinion because it's close to resistance there. So support 17 cents to 24 cents and resistance 30 cents to about 34 cents. From the zone to the resistance zone, you'd be looking at about 51 to 67% respectively. Scale, this one's at 7 cents to about 8 cents on support, 11 cents to about 13.5 cents on resistance. Again, it's stuck in between the zones. So from zone to zone, it'd be about 60% to about 94%. Mana. So support currently 27 cents to 35 cents, resistance 69 cents to 83 cents. And to go from zone to zone, you'd be looking at about 112% to 160%. Whether you choose to buy it now, again, that's entirely up to you. When the altcoin season does happen, these prices will probably be much, much higher than they are now, would be my guess. So, yeah, Shiba, we can't really measure this one because this is in like fractions of a penny, but you guys can kind of see the support numbers here. So you got 1506, 1770, 27, and then 36. This is a meme coin, by the way. I would not be buying right now. That's just my opinion. So, because it's too close to resistance, I'd wait for a pullback. So, 73 to about 123%. Horizon, this is the underline for HN. So, support currently is 540 to about 680. We do have a bag of these. So, 1170 to about 13.5 on the high side. Again, it's stuck in between the two zones, and the move would be about 78% to 110% or so. Zcash, as of right now, this one is in the buy zone, and the resistance is kind of sitting up here, as you guys can see. So roughly about $19 to 23 bucks on support, 33 to about 35 on resistance. This is a privacy token, just so y'all know that the government's not a big fan of privacy or privacy tokens. So 36 to about 47% on that move. Okay, so Crow, again, this is an exchange token. We do have some. It's currently in the buy zone. So 10 cents to about 13 cents, 15-ish to about 18-ish on the resistance. Assuming you wanted to get your price roughly about halfway in here, you'd be looking at about 34 to 56%, or sorry, 58%. So Track, this is Origin Trail. This is, I believe, another AI token. So it's currently in the buy zone. So you got about 83 cents to 97 cents, and then $1.27 to $1.45 respectively at the top there. From the current price to the resistance zone, you'd be looking at about 34% to about 52% move on that. Gala, this is one we also have, but of course it's a little expensive up here, so we'd be waiting to buy. So about a penny and a third to about 2 cents, and then 6 cents to roughly about 8.5 cents respectively up at that high there. So from zone to zone, about 283% and then 430% respectively. And last one, Tezos. So 61 cents to 80 cents, and then $1.27 to $1.45 on the resistance. Wouldn't buy this one. I'd wait for a drop. That's just my opinion, of course. You guys can do what you want. So the move up would be about 86 cents to 114, or 86% to 114%. So anyways, this is our altcoin video. And of course, the sell and may go away, which again, whether that happens or not, we'll see. Hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.